Well, you guys, the first few days matter the most when police are investigating violent crimes. Many people, fortunately, they get those answers and they get closure, but many other families, they don't. Tonight, we talked to the families of 7-year-old Janice Pocket of Tolland, who disappeared in 1973, and 35-year-old Diana Ferris of Hartford, who was killed in 1996. A snapshot in time. 6 years.
This is one of my great memories of my sister.
Those are all the memories Mary Engelbrett has with her sister, Janice Pocket.
I was only 6 years old, so I don't remember a lot, but I do have some fairly vivid memories from that day.
That day, July 26th, 1973.
It was the first time my mom ever let her go anywhere by herself.
Janice disappeared that day after she jumped on her bike and headed down Anthony Road in Tolland to chase a butterfly.
I feel that my mom carried that guilt for the rest of her life. Not knowing what happened, not knowing where she is, who did it, it's the worst part.
Another woman in this town, someone who was a complete stranger to Mary until this month, shares a similar story.
My grandfather actually had received the news that my mother was murdered.
Diana Ferris was 5 months pregnant when she was strangled in her Garden Street apartment in Hartford in 1996. Her daughter Miranda, who now lives in Tolland, was only 16.
I sought therapy for years to work through those images in my mind of that happening to my mother.
She says her mom wasn't a perfect person.
She was a single mom who struggled with drug addiction. But at the end of the day, she was a mother, and she was a loving mother.
And it's because of her mother's love that she feels passionate about pressing for answers, even 26 years later.
If she was a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a lawyer, I feel like maybe the police and the community would have cared a little bit more.
Detective Andrew Jacobson has been working on her case for the last 5 years.
There is DNA in this case, and we're actively looking at it. We have identified a few people that are related to Diana's case, and we're excited that we're making headway.
So I really hope, at least in my children's lifetime, that her case will be solved.
Until then, complete strangers, 2 women both connected to Tolland who didn't know each other until I started researching these cases, are bonded over tragedy.
And so that common ground of the unknown, I think, unites you.
Still heartbroken.
You never know what it's like unless you've been through it.
But keeping hope alive.
Even if our loved ones' cases are not solved here, God holds the final judgment, and justice will be served one day.
And I know that pain all too well, these families that they struggle with. In October, my mom's case back in Mississippi, it'll make 10 years that she was murdered, and her case is still cold. And this is a huge reason why I became a journalist, specifically to tell these stories and to make sure that people's stories are continued to be told.
I mean, the pain that not only these families, but now you also carry. You know, we cover these stories on the news often, but you oftentimes move on and forget the pain that these families live with day after day. And for you to be able to connect with these 2 women had to be so amazing for you to be able to share their story.
One was very, very similar to my mom, so definitely
And that's why you were interested in this. And what year did your mother
2012. It'll make 10 years on Halloween.
Okay, wow, I didn't know that, DeAndrea. So as far as technology goes, is that what's happening with these 2 murders?
Well,
DNA technology?
This woman, Janice Pocket, the 7-year-old, she disappeared in the 70s. So with technology, it's something that wasn't really there. But with the other case, there's a little bit of hope because they have DNA, and with the cutting edge technology, the investigators are hoping that they'll make some type of breakthrough.
And as you know, that hope is what you hold on to year after year.
Even if it's a little bit.
Indeed. All right, DeAndrea, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.